Sam. Welcome back to Syncounting Tax Academy. Today we're going to learn something really important. Before the IRS takes action, it first needs to decide what to do next. This decision isn't about punishing anyone or about being unfair. It's about understanding what's really going on and figuring out how to help people or make sure everything is fair. Let's break it down together. Samai. But why does the IRS need to decide what to do first before acting? Can't they just start right away? Sam. Great question, Samai. The IRS has to take time to make careful decisions because good decisions don't happen by accident. Imagine you're choosing the best way to fix something broken. If you don't look closely at all the parts involved, you might make the problem worse. Leighton. That's right. The IRS looks at the full picture before choosing the next step. It's like putting together a puzzle. If you don't see the whole image, it's hard to know where each piece fits. Sam. Exactly. By understanding everything, the IRS can make a fair decision that helps both the person and the system. Leighton. First, the IRS looks at income. Samai. Income? What's that? Leighton. Income is the money someone earns. This could be from their paycheck, business income, retirement payments, or other money they receive. Sam. The IRS also looks at whether income is steady or if it changes over time. Some people might have a regular paycheck every week, while others may have income that goes up and down. Samai. So the IRS wants to know how much someone can handle in terms of paying taxes, right? Sam. Exactly, Samai. The IRS can look at all the places your money is coming from and all the things you spend your money on and decide if your taxes should be paid first before you pay for other things. The IRS protects the interest of the government. Remember, taxes allow the government to build roads, schools, and even pay your teachers. Lola. Next, the IRS looks at expenses, the money someone spends. Samai. Oh, like food and housing? Lola. Yes, exactly. Expenses include things like food, housing, transportation, medical bills, and even childcare. Sam. That's right. The IRS knows that everyone needs to pay for the basic living expenses before paying taxes. If someone is spending a lot just to get by, they might not have much left to pay taxes with. The IRS has a way to know if someone can afford to pay their taxes based on where they live, the income and expenses information the IRS has on the person, and other information available elsewhere. Leighton. The IRS also takes a look at assets, things that someone owns. Samai. What are assets? Leighton. Assets are things like money in the bank, cars, homes, or business tools. Sam. But just because someone owns something doesn't mean they can sell it. Some things, like a home or a car, are needed to live or work, so the IRS takes that into consideration before making any decisions. Samai. Why does the IRS care about what happened before? Sam. Good question, Samai. The IRS looks at past history because patterns can tell a story. For example, if someone missed paying taxes last year, it's important to know if it was a one-time mistake or if it happens often. Leighton. Exactly. Was this a one-time issue, or has this happened multiple times? That helps the IRS decide how flexible they can be and whether they need to take stronger action. Lola. It's like getting in trouble for not finishing your homework. If you always forget, the teacher might need to take action. But if it's a one-time mistake, they might be more understanding. Sam. Now, after looking at income and expenses, the IRS asks one big question. Is there anything left to pay taxes? Samai. It's like checking if the cup is empty, right? Sam. Exactly. You can't pour from an empty cup. The IRS needs to know if someone has enough money left over to pay their taxes after paying for allowable living expenses. Lola. The IRS also checks what people are doing right now. Samai. Like filing new tax returns? Lola. Yes, that's right. Making sure the person is keeping up with their current taxes is very important. Fixing past problems only works if today's actions are handled correctly. Sam. Doing the right things now helps build trust. When the IRS sees that someone is working with them and following the rules, it can make things easier in the future. Leighton. Some situations need faster action than others. Samai. Why's that? Leighton. Because waiting too long can make things worse. For example, if someone is falling behind on payments, waiting too long could mean extra interest or penalties. Sam. The IRS decides how urgent a case is and takes action based on how much risk is involved. If waiting too long could cause problems for someone, the IRS might move faster. Lola. One last thing that matters a lot: communication. Samai. Just talking? Lola. Yes, exactly. Responding to letters, following through on promises, and keeping in touch with the IRS is really important. Sam. Talking keeps the doors open. When people communicate, it shows they're working together to solve the problem, and that's key to getting things back on track. Sam. So, when the IRS decides what to do next, it looks at real life, not just numbers on paper. They consider everything: what's coming in, what's going out, and how things have been in the past. Samai. So understanding the process helps people feel less scared, right? Sam. Exactly. Knowledge changes everything. When people understand how the IRS works and what factors they consider, they can make better decisions and feel more in control. Sam. Good decisions start with understanding. And by learning this today, you're one step closer to making those good decisions.